True intelligence often flies under the radar. In fact, plenty of smart people don't even realize how sharp they really are. I'm Mike with List 25, and here are 25 signs you're smarter than you think. 25. You're creative. Have you ever had an idea that made people say, how did they even come up with that? Well, that's intelligence in action. Dr. Katie Davis, a clinical neuropsychologist, says creativity is a clear sign of intelligence because it requires flexible thinking and the ability to see things from different angles. I mean, just look at the ad industry. Some of the smartest people out there are definitely the creatives. They take a simple concept, flip it around, and turn it into something unforgettable. So if you're always coming up with fresh ideas, take a bow. Your brain is working on another level. 24. You're messy. Does your workspace or bedroom always look like a tornado just blew through it? Don't stress. Kathleen Vose from the University of Minnesota says messiness is linked to higher intelligence. In one of her studies, participants were split into two groups and asked to brainstorm creative uses for ping pong balls. One in a tidy space, the other in total chaos. The result? The messy group thought up far more creative and unique ideas than their tidy counterparts. 23. You're curious. If you've ever been told you ask too many questions, take it as a compliment. Researchers at Goldsmiths University of London found that the more people invest in their intellect, in other words, the more they chase new knowledge, the more their cognitive abilities grow. And it's not just about learning, it's about wanting to learn. Even better, research from Georgia Tech suggests that curious people are better at handling uncertainty, meaning they're wired to think through complex problems without getting overwhelmed. The more you question, the more you grow. And that is a sure sign of intelligence. 22. You roll with the punches. Some people panic when things don't go as planned. Others, they figure it out and keep moving. According to research, adaptability is associated with mental agility and resilience, two traits that enable a person to cope with unpredictable situations. Being adaptable isn't just about staying calm, it's about thinking on your feet, problem solving in real time, and turning challenges into opportunities. If change doesn't throw you off, but instead brings out your best thinking, you're showing a type of intelligence that's just as important as book smarts. 21. Your self-control is off the charts. Whether you practice it by talking yourself through decisions or just having the willpower to resist temptation, it shows your brain is wired for long-term thinking. A 2009 Yale study put this to the test by offering participants a choice: take a smaller cash reward immediately or wait for a bigger payout later. The ones who held out for the larger reward also scored higher on IQ tests, suggesting that smarter people are better at delaying gratification and making thoughtful decisions. In other words, thinking ahead and resisting impulse buys might just mean you're sharper than you realize. 20. You enjoy being by yourself. A study in the British Journal of Psychology found that intelligent people are more content in times of solitude and don't feel the constant need to be around others. It's not about being antisocial, it's about valuing time to think, plan, and reset. Alone time also reinforces self-control. Remember number 21, which means that while others are preoccupied with their constant socializing, you are sharpening your mind. 19. You're good at noticing patterns. Do you notice patterns before anyone else? Maybe you can predict a plot twist halfway through a movie, spot trends before they take off, or see inefficiencies in the system that no one else questions. Pattern recognition is a powerful cognitive skill that fuels creativity, problem solving, and innovation. It's what helps scientists make breakthroughs, artists create meaning, and strategists stay ahead of the game. It's not just about numbers or data. It's about seeing the world in a way others don't. 18. You're open-minded. Listening, balancing facts, and considering all sides before speaking are all signs that your brain is working smarter. A 2008 Yale study found that highly intelligent people don't rush to form opinions. Instead, they take in multiple viewpoints before deciding where they stand. But that doesn't mean they're easily swayed. Once they do make up their minds, they tend to be more confident in their stance and less likely to be manipulated. 17. You learn to read early. Were you a bookworm before anyone else in your circle? According to those in the know, those who learn to read early might have set themselves up for stronger thinking skills later in life. A study conducted in 2014 on nearly 2,000 pairs of identical twins in the UK found that the sibling who started reading first tended to score higher on cognitive ability tests. Researchers believe that early reading not only improves the way you understand language, but also enhances logical thinking, instead of just being something smart kids do. 16. You're the kind of person that worries a lot. Are you lying awake at night, replaying every single interaction you had during the day, or stressing over every little detail in upcoming plans or events? A 2015 study looked at 126 students and how often they worried or fixated on upsetting situations. Surprisingly, the researchers found that those who overanalyzed everything scored higher on their verbal intelligence tests. In other words, an overactive brain might come with a few sleepless nights, but it's also working overtime in all the right ways. 15. You waited until after high school to have sex. Being late to the dating game might have had more to do with your intelligence than you think. Research from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill analyzed data from 12,000 students, grades 7 through 12, and found that teens with higher IQs were more likely to be virgins than their average or lower IQ classmates. They were also less likely to kiss or even hold hands with a romantic partner. So, if you were a late bloomer in that area, your brain was probably prioritizing thinking over flirting. 14. Your brain works best after dark. The evolutionary scientist Satoshi Kanazawa found a connection between sleep habits and IQ. According to his 2009 study, adolescents with higher IQs tend to stay up later and wake up later, both on weekdays and weekends. He firmly believes that night owls may be better at coming up with original and creative solutions to problems than early risers. Simply put, if you do your best thinking long after everyone else has gone to bed, you're in good company. 13. Things just come easier for you. While most of us have to grind to get ahead, highly intelligent people often excel without putting in the same level of effort. A Vanderbilt University study followed 2,000 students who crushed the SAT by age 13, landing in the top 1%. The smartest of the bunch, those in the 99.9th percentile, were 3 to 5 times more likely to earn doctorates, publish research, secure patents, or even write books. Psychologists David Hambrick and Elizabeth Mines, writing for the New York Times, put it bluntly: hard work matters, but some abilities just can't be taught. 2. You play a musical instrument. If you spent your formative years practicing scales instead of scrolling, you might have been giving your brain a serious advantage. One 2018 study published in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that kids in structured music programs scored higher than their peers in verbal intelligence, planning, and self-control. And the benefits kick in fast. Even 4 to 6-year-olds saw an improvement in verbal skills after less than a month of lessons. 11. You're the oldest child. You know that whole older and wiser thing? Yeah, science says there's actually some truth to it. A study in the Journal of Human Resources found that firstborn kids tend to perform better on cognitive tests than their younger siblings. Older siblings are also 30% more likely to end up as CEOs or politicians. So, if your big brother or sister always acted like they knew better, well, they might have. And they might have a slight advantage. 10. You take more risks. Okay, before I go any further, let me just say this is not an endorsement to go out and experiment with funny substances, but research suggests that highly intelligent people are more likely to do just that. A 2012 study of over 6,000 Brits born in 1958 found a link between high childhood IQ and drug use later in life. And unlike most studies that connect intelligence with better health choices, this one found that smarter kids were actually more likely to engage in risky behavior, like heavy drinking and recreational drug use, as adults. It all boils down to curiosity, a tendency to challenge norms, and a willingness to explore, usually in ways that aren't exactly great for long-term health. 9. You're Lefty. Lefty's got a bad rap for years. Seriously, check out our video here. Some even thought being left-handed was linked to criminal behavior. But science has flipped the script. In fact, being a lefty might actually give you an edge. A 1995 study found that left-handed people scored higher on divergent thinking, the kind of creativity that helps you come up with unique ideas from a single prompt. As the New Yorker's Maria Konnikova explains, lefties tend to be better at tasks like finding new uses for everyday objects or grouping words in unexpected ways, which could also explain why so many architects, musicians, and artists are left-handed. 8. Big thinkers, big drinkers. Intelligence and alcohol have a surprising connection. Research led by Satoshi Kanazawa found that British and American adults who scored higher on IQ tests as kids were more likely to drink regularly in adulthood. They also found that countries with higher average IQs also tend to drink more beer and wine. But before you toast to this study, you should know it's not about drinking more, but rather about the link between intelligence and alcohol habits. 7. You feel genuine empathy for others. Empathy isn't just about being nice. It takes real brain power to truly understand what someone else is feeling and put yourself in their shoes. A study published in Frontiers in Integrative Neuroscience found a strong link between empathy and cognitive ability. People with higher intelligence were better at picking up on emotions, understanding different perspectives, and reading between the lines. In short, being emotionally tuned in isn't just a kind personality trait, it's a sign that your brain is operating on a higher level. 6. You're funny. If you're great at making people laugh, well, you're smarter than you think. A 2011 study from the University of New Mexico found that professional comedians and people who wrote funny or cartoon captions scored higher on verbal intelligence. I mean, honestly, it makes sense. Comedy requires quick thinking, sharp observation, and the ability to connect ideas in unexpected ways. Quick wit and sharp thinking go hand in hand. If you got both, your brain is firing on all cylinders. 5. You know how to make complicated things easy to understand. If you can break down tough concepts in a way that actually makes sense, whether it's explaining taxes to a friend or decoding tech jargon, you're showing next-level intelligence. The Nobel Prize-winning physicist Richard Feynman was known for his ability to simplify complex ideas. The so-called Feynman technique, based on his approach, suggests that if you can't explain something in a simple, easy-to-understand way, you probably don't understand it as well as you think. So if people always say, "Wow, I finally get it," after you explain something, well, you're probably brighter than the rest of us. 4. You talk to yourself. A study from Bangor University found that people who read instructions out loud or talk to themselves through tasks tend to perform better than those who stay silent. Speaking helps engage your brain in a different way, sharpening focus and boosting self-control, both key traits of smart people. Even professional athletes do it, coaching themselves through high-pressure moments. So the next time you catch yourself chatting away with no one around, don't stop. It's not weird. It's smart. 3. You love a good debate. Some people argue just to prove a point. Smart people, they debate to learn. If you enjoy thoughtful discussions, welcome opposing viewpoints, and don't take disagreements personally, you're showing a level of intellectual maturity that not everyone has. Maybe you've had deep conversations about politics, philosophy, or even whether or not pineapple belongs on pizza, and walked away appreciating the other side, even if you still disagree. If you thrive on exchanging ideas rather than shutting them down, you've mastered the art of thinking, not just reacting. 2. You remember weird facts even years later. Some people forget what they had for breakfast. You, on the other hand, can recall a random fact about the Eiffel Tower you read 5 years ago. Sound familiar? A study co-authored by former Jeopardy champion Monica Theo explored how 2 different memory systems might give some people an edge in recalling facts. The research suggests that individuals who excel at trivia may have more efficient brain connections, allowing them to retrieve stored information more effectively. If your brain effortlessly delivers obscure facts when you need them, trust me, you're working with some serious mental horsepower. 1. You don't think you're very smart. Ironically, the smartest people often don't think they're all that smart. Psychologists call this the Dunning-Kruger effect, a phenomenon where less competent people overestimate their abilities, while truly intelligent people are more aware of their limitations. And here's the thing, knowing what you don't know is actually a strength. It means you're more likely to keep learning, find and hang out with smarter people, and fill in the gaps in your knowledge. As Shakespeare put it, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. So, if you've ever doubted your own intelligence, chances are you're definitely smarter than you think. And that's a wrap. But before you go, let's test that brain of yours with a trivia question. According to a 2008 Yale study, highly intelligent people tend to A. Stick to their first instinct without question, B. Form opinions quickly and confidently, C. Consider multiple viewpoints before making a decision, or D. Change their minds frequently when challenged. Drop your answers in the comments below, and let's see who gets it right. And if you loved today's video, you'll want to check out 25 weird facts about left-handed people. I mentioned it earlier, where we talked about everything left-handed. From Lefty's surprising survival advantages to their hidden talents when it comes to video games. Trust me, you'll love it. And as always, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any new content, and I will catch you next time. See ya.